Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just getting all the channels set up. Looks like we're live on, let's see here. Make sure we're live on Instagram here. All right, let's see. We're good on Facebook, good on YouTube. Let's see. Looks like Instagram as well. Very, very good. Very, very good. Good morning. Let me go ahead and get this thing rocking and rolling. Okay. As you guys start coming in, check in with me. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Winning Wednesday to you. All right. So let's go ahead and get this thing cranked up. Start. And let's roll. Let's rock. Let's roll. And let's go. It's usually a little bit loud when I first start this thing. Yeah. It takes a few steps to knock that noise out. I need some WD-40 for this thing. Yeah, let's get a few steps on this thing. All right, all right, all right. So hopefully you guys are doing well today. It's Winning Wednesday. I want to know where you're tuning in from. Rep your city, rep your hood in the chat. Would love to hear from you. You guys have been enjoying these gratitude and gain series. I'd love to hear from you as well. Yeah, there it went. See, it's weird. It's weird. This treadmill, right when you first started, it's like making tons of noise, and then it calms down a little bit. So that's good. We are rocking and rolling now. But yeah, let me know where you're tuning in from, and I hope you guys have been enjoying these episodes. It's been healing for me. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's been amazing. I've been enjoying them. And some of the comments that are coming back, absolutely transformational. And it's holding me accountable, keeping me doing the things that I need to be doing, which is awesome. So I like it. I'm enjoying it. So let's go ahead and get this episode kicked off. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Who You Know Show, where what you know is important, but who you know can make all the difference in your wealth, your health, your business, career, your relationships, and your life. And this is your wake-up call, all right? This is the Gratitude and Gains Winning Wednesday edition, all right, where we're going to fuel your midweek with gratitude, goals, and God's Word. We're going to talk about it today. Super excited you're here. So a couple things that I'm grateful for. I am grateful for the breath in my lungs and the strength to keep going. For those of you that tuned in yesterday, I made a public declaration to quit smoking. And yesterday was day one. And it's been pretty challenging. I mean, yesterday was not easy. I had to change my routine. I can't go home. I have a spot in my backyard where at nighttime, see, I don't smoke during the day, but at nighttime when I'm trying to wind down or relax after work, there's a spot in my backyard where I would go and sit in a chair and smoke. And so I know going home was going to be a trigger. So I didn't go home, right away. I went to the gym. So I'm doing 2-a-days now, just so I don't go back to the same routine and get in the same environment. You got to change your environment, right? When you're trying to break a habit. So as you can hear, that little that little cough I just did, right? I can tell, even after one day. I mean, I had a struggle last night sleeping because there were several times I woke up, I was tossing and turning, several times where I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I woke up gasping for air last night. So I'm just grateful to be awake, to have breath in my lungs, and the strength to keep going. So super grateful for that. I'm grateful for the perspective shift that comes in trials, right? It reminds me that I'm not in control, that God is in control. Like God woke me up several times last night for breath. I mean, I don't know if it was like sleep apnea or what. And that doesn't happen to me. You see, I quit smoking day one, and now I'm struggling to breathe. It's like crazy, but it reminds me that I'm not in control. God's in control, and that, He woke me up several times to give me breath. How amazing is that? So I'm thankful for that. I'm also thankful, thinking about what's going on in the world right now, I'm thankful for bold voices today who speak truth even when they're being persecuted. And that's what we're going to talk about today a little bit. Obviously everything going on with Charlie Kirk, and a lot of people are speaking out. And I think it's there's a revival happening. We're seeing it all over the country, which is amazing. I'm coming back to the Word. Like, it's something that personally I'm a believer, have been for a long time, and obviously I'm faith-based, and like, it's important to me. But I've had seasons of ups and downs, right? Not perfect. And I've had seasons where I've been away. And I'm coming out of one of those seasons where I've been away, and I'm coming back. There's like an awakening happening, which is super cool. I love it. Feels amazing. So I'm just thankful for bold voices out there who are speaking truth. Even when, they're being persecuted. So this morning I was reading scripture. I was reading Acts 16. Paul and I believe it's I can't. I'm gonna mess the pronunciation. So all of y'all that know this stuff, don't come at me. Okay, don't come at me in the comments. Be like, oh, it's this, it's that. Silas, whatever. Paul and Silas. I don't know how you say it. Whatever. But they were beaten. Okay, they were chained, and they were thrown into prison for casting out a spirit. They were doing miracles, right? And what I thought was interesting is they're beaten, chained, and thrown into prison. And their response was actually, they started to sing songs and hymns to God. They were praising. They were in prison, beat up, and they were praising God. And other prisoners were there listening. And what happened after that, there was a breakthrough. There was a big earthquake, shook the prison, doors flew open, the chains fell off, right? And The jailer who's responsible for making sure everybody's locked up, he thought everyone had escaped, and he was scared, and he was actually ready to take his own life. He was going to commit suicide, but Paul stopped him. And like, how cool is that? The guy who's got you chained up, the guy who's got you locked up, he's like, no. He stopped him from taking his own life. And the jailer and everyone there was saved that night. And a couple of takeaways, I guess you could say, that I had from that was that when you're going through trials, you're going through hard times, worship. Don't complain. It could have been so easy for them to complain, right? Like they were, if I remember, I was reading, they were Romans, and they could have easily complained. But they didn't. They worshiped. They praised. And I think about my own life. Like, I've gone through a season here recently where I've been doing a lot of complaining. I've done a lot of complaining. And it doesn't get you anywhere. Matter of fact, it's like a victim mindset. You're pointing the finger. You're complaining. Right? And I have to constantly challenge myself to stop complaining, start praising. So their response, right, and your response to situations, trials, and battles and things you're going through, your response actually preaches. What do I mean by that? Well, in that situation, the other prisoners listened, right? So as they were being persecuted and they were still praising, the people around them were watching, right? So remember, the way you respond, your response to the things that are happening to you, other people are watching you. And your attitude during those times of trials, that impacts those around you. And that's like really important. And I think about that for myself in my own life because, again, I've had a season of kind of complaining. I've had some things that aren't going my way. I've been frustrated, complaining about it. And I'm just done. Like, I'm done complaining. And I think about those that are around me. It's like a cancer, those that are hearing me complain and they're like, gosh, I had a season recently where I was actually apologizing to those folks. Like, hey, I know I've been a little bit negative lately. I want to apologize because I know it's probably like a cancer. Like, I have to go back and kind of clean up some mess because I've been a little bit negative. And again, remember your response, guys. And again, I'm saying all this because I'm kind of preaching to myself right now, right? I'm preaching to myself, and hopefully this helps you as well. Your response. So remember that. Another takeaway from Acts 16 as I was going through it is chains break, right? Your chains, the things that are holding you captive, right? They break in God's presence. So when you get with God and you worship, especially through times of trial, and when you're going through hard times, they literally, when you worship and you praise anyways, it shakes foundations. right? It broke the chains. You know, I'm grateful this morning again for being able to breathe. Last night was a challenge, and I've never experienced that before. And it was like the day I, proclaim that I quit smoking, and I'm, putting this out there, this declaration. That same day I go under attack. That same night, my breath. And think about that. And I could go into victim mode and say, oh, I need to smoke. I don't know. I could totally try to figure out a way to give up. But you know what? I'm just going to worship. I'm going to praise. I'm going to thank God for waking me up. Every time I turned and tossed and turned, and I had to gasp for air last night. I'm grateful, and what an amazing God that He woke me up to breathe. He's not done with me yet. He's not done with me. So I love that. Another takeaway from Acts 16 as I was going through this is your struggle, the things that you're going through, your hardship, your struggle actually saves others, right? I always say this, your scars are meant to help heal other people, right? The things you've gone through. Like if you look at the story, the jailers, the guard, his salvation came through their suffering, right? Yet oftentimes in our lives, when we go through hardship, what it is it's a lesson to help other people that are going through something similar. Like when I put that post out yesterday about quitting smoking, the outpour, it's pretty amazing, actually. The outpour of support, other people saying they're going to quit, how it helped them and encouraged them, right? Whenever I do content like that stuff tends to go more viral than the other stuff that I do, right? Like people relate to it. And so when you share the struggles that you're going through, put it out there. Your struggle can save other people. So I encourage you to share it. Now, a quick tie-in to everything that we've been talking about with in Acts 16, Paul and Silas, they were persecuted for speaking the truth. And I want to tie that into what's been going on with, Charlie Kirk, his situation. There's a lot of modern voices, just like Charlie Kirk, that are facing censorship, pushback, silencing, assassination, for standing boldly in faith and values. But I want you to be reminded of Acts 16. Persecution is not defeat. It's not defeat. It's often the platform that God uses to actually spread his message further. Like, look at what happened with Charlie Kirk. Like, they wanted to silence him, but it's the exact opposite of what happened. His voice has been amplified, 1,000 times. Like his voice, something that he couldn't do on his own, his voice has literally been amplified. His message, right? So persecution is not defeat. It's often, again, the platform that God uses to spread the message. Just like Jesus, when Jesus was persecuted, that was the platform to spread the message. So when truth is resisted, it often just grows stronger, right? It just you can't hold back the light, right? You can't hold back the light. So when light enters a room, darkness must flee. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. You can't hold back the light, right? So again, personal tie-in. Last night I struggled with breathing, and it reminds me of just how fragile life is sometimes. But just like Paul and Silas, I choose to worship over worry. You know, I'm not going to worry about it. You know, my chains, they may not be prison bars, right? They may not be handcuffs. I've had that in the past, honestly. But they're my habits, right? My chains are my habits, my fears and battles that I'm declaring are finished, right? I want to be the author of this story. I'm declaring that they're finished. And God can turn these moments of weakness into testimonies. So again, I wasn't, smoking, drinking, things like that. Like, those things aren't stuff I'm proud of. Those are weakness. And they're chains. But God can turn those moments of weakness into testimonies that can actually, again, save other people. They can help other people. So me sharing this, guys, it's not, I'm sharing this stuff because it's healing for me, and I know it's healing for other people too. So I've actually got this detox. These are Mullen, Better Lung Mullen gummies. And Mullen is like a detox for your lungs. Helps you to get rid of all the crap that's in there. I've had a lot of crap in there over the years. I've been smoking since I was 10 years old. Can you believe that? And I'm 38. So I've been smoking for 28 years. Now, I'm not a heavy smoker. I did kind of just some rough math. Let's call it 5 cigarettes a day. It's in the evening time when I'm trying to wind down. It's not all day long. I don't smoke packs of cigarettes or anything like that, but still compounded over 28 years. I ChatGPT'd it. It was like 50,000 cigarettes or something like that over the last 28 years. I'm like, boom, what? 50,000 cigarettes. And they said something like, I asked, what is the amount of time that takes off a person's life, right? I'm trying to figure out how much of my life I gave away to these dang cigarettes. And they said for every cigarette, it's like 11 seconds, I think. That's what ChatGPT said. I don't know. But look, it was like over a year to a year and a half that I've chopped off my life, And so I'm, feeling good about this. I'm trying to get this back, We can turn it around. I'm still young. We can turn it around. And I'm doing everything else right to get in shape, to get healthy. Because, again, God's not done with me yet. And he can turn these moments of weakness into testimony. So let's rock, let's roll, let's go. All right. So my goals today, again, consistency with my morning routine, with showing up for you guys with this gratitude and gain series, with my declaration to quit smoking. I want to stay consistent, and I need you to hold me accountable. I need you to ask me, hey, how'd you do yesterday? How was it? Ask me. And I'll tell you the truth. If I slip up, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. Okay? I need accountability. So that's my goal, is to stay consistent. A couple other things I'm working on. I'm still studying. And I'm building an in-person studio. So I'm working on a few things, a few projects. I'm actually working on a new career transition summit with, oh man, it's going to be amazing. Like, for those of you that know, I work and help job seekers to overcome age discrimination and recover their income and navigate the financial impact of job loss. I help them get back to work so much faster. And I'm creating an all-new series, an all-new career transition summit that's going to blow them away. New strategies, new tactics to help you recover your income. So super excited about that. That's another goal I have, I'm working on. I want to give a couple shout outs to some of the comments that came in, some community shout outs. This goes to Scott Schneider. Scott, let's just put it that way. Scott, he says, I hit 5 years smoke-free. Sometimes protecting your life means protecting your circle. He mentioned how the way that he did it was he couldn't do it at first because everyone around him smoked. So he had to remove anyone who wasn't aligned with his goal, right? So he had to get rid of friends in order to quit smoking. So he says, sometimes protecting your life means protecting your circle. Super powerful, Scott. Nikki Duncan, she says 24 hours without cigarettes turned hospice into healing for my dad. He lived 8 more years. Wow. Super impactful. And then Olga Mack, she says, transformation starts with surrender. Freedom comes not from control, but from trust. I love that. You're absolutely right. So guys, if this episode or this series is encouraging you, I want you to share it with a friend, right? Give them a midweek boost, if you will, right? And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the Who You Know Show podcast, all right? That's where I go deeper into career strategies, financial resilience, and, faith-fueled breakthroughs, right? That's what the show is all about. It's about breakthroughs. It's about turning your setbacks into comebacks. All right, so I want to make sure you guys are tuning in to our regular show on the podcast. All right, and my goal is to actually take these series, these gratitude and gains, and I'm actually going to take them and edit them together to make long form episodes that you'll actually be able to get some of these updates on the podcast as well, on the Who You Know Show podcast. Right now, they're just live streamed, but the goal is to get them polished up, edited up, and get them out on the podcast as well. So, but for right now, keep tuning in live, okay? All right. So I got a few questions for you guys tuning in. All right. What are some chains that you're asking God to break this week? A lot of times we're looking to add more, do more. What else can I do? How can I build? How can I grow? Sometimes it's about letting go of things. What can we remove? What chains are you asking God to break this week? All right, tell me in the chat. Where do you need to choose praise over complaining? This is one I have to remember all the time, because I tell you what, I have it in me to be both. I can complain, boy. I tell you what, I've always had this. This is my biggest. My mouth is my biggest weapon, my biggest skill, my biggest gift from God. But man, the enemy can use it too. Remember that. Whatever gift that God gave you, the enemy wants to use that gift and reverse it for him. So I totally, the power of life and death is in the tongue, and I can be definitely life. For sure, I can speak life. But I tell you what, I can start complaining and stinking thinking and negativity. I can do that too. So in what areas of your life do you need to choose praise over complaining? Where are you complaining? Write that down. What are the things that you're just always just you're just complaining about, right? Write that down. And then start praising, start worshiping, right? Be grateful. Here's another question I have for you guys. Have you ever faced pushback for speaking the truth? Right? Have you ever been, persecuted, if you will? Have you ever had any pushback for speaking truth? And then how did you respond to that? What did you do in response? Remember, your response, people are watching. I've had several times where that's happened, and you know what? I can be honest with you that my response has not always been the best. I got work to do on that, right? So this has been just as much reflection for me as I hope it's been for you. So if you enjoyed today's Winning Wednesday episode, remember, subscribe to the Who You Know Show podcast for deeper dives into faith, career, financial strategies. Make sure you share this episode out with somebody who needs a little encouragement today, right? And remember, champions, gratitude first, goals next, gains always, all right? Keep climbing higher. And remember, when you worship in the middle of a storm, okay, you're already winning, all right? So I'm going to see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Let's rock. Let's roll. Let's go. And if you're tuning in, I'd love to give you a quick shout out. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm going to pull up the chat. I can't even see it right now. Turn this off. Guys, appreciate you. Have an amazing, 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 blessed day. We'll talk to you soon.